get going. Let's get going with another week, another training, and get into, I think, a continuation from the last one. All right. But let's get started on our normal fashion. Let's go over to Barbara, get us going. Over to you, Barbara. You ready for us?
Yes, sir. Here is our disclaimer for Futures and Commodities Trading Group. Trading and investing, there is a high level of risk. You could lose some or all of your investment. Trading commodities or any other financial instrument may not be suitable for all investors. Before deciding to trade, you should carefully consider your investment objectives, level of experience, and risk appetite. We accept no liability for any losses or damages you may incur. This means that you alone are responsible for your actions in any trading or investing activity.
Thank you. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Now it's time for us to check in with Dr. Mel, see what she got for us. You ready for us, Dr. Mel?
So much rotation on them. You're challenging to take a big cut.
Uh-oh.
I'm just chilling. I'm like, oh yeah. Woo-wee. All right. So we had some quizzes this week. Fun, fun, fun. So the first one was, yeah, before my birthday. Here we go. Okay. First quiz. An uptrend is established by a series of higher highs and higher lows. Is that true, false, not sure? Question. An uptrend is established by a series of higher highs and higher lows. Jamal says it's true. Anybody else agree with Jamal? Miss Sully says
True.
it's true. So Miss Paula says true. Okay, so we got 3 trues.
Yeah, she said she didn't focus on it.
It sounds like the trues win. Yay. And the next question, quiz question is, when a top formation forms on the chart, this indicates that the market could be changing directions to go into what type of trend? An uptrend, a downtrend, not sure. Question. When a top formation forms on the chart, this indicates that the market could be changing directions to go into what type of a trend? And I see,
Down.
what was that, Miss Paula?
I said down.
Okay, Miss Sully says downtrend, Miss Paula says downtrend, and Jamal says downtrend. So we have 3 downtrends. Anybody think anything differently? All right, the downtrends win. Yay.
Yay!
Yes, sir.
Awesome.
Love it.
All yours, Delvin.
Love it. Thank you.
You are welcome.
Oh, it's time to get into some training, Barbara. So what we got tonight for our training? Anything out of that manual that I heard about? We got
Yes,
Oh.
sir. So tonight we're coming from lesson 3, which is the second half from last week. This week we're going to learn about downtrends. And so this is a book teaching people one of the best ways to build wealth, which is through trading futures and commodities. If you're on call and you don't have this book, please order this book. Look in the group, go to Barnes and Nobles. There's a Kindle version. There is a hardback, a paperback. You want to get this because this will help you in your journey to building wealth. And what we're teaching on the call is actually coming from the book. And we even go more in depth as well. So it's a bonus, an added bonus for you to come on the calls because you get to learn more and you get to ask questions too, regarding things that's in the book. So we want you to purchase this book. It's going to help you.
Hey, Barbara,
Yes, sir.
how are your sales doing?
Say that again. I couldn't hear you.
How are your sales doing?
They're progressing, but we want everyone that comes on the call to get the book because it's going to help you during the week when you don't have, when you're not on Sundays. You can read this book, you can listen to the calls. So it's only an addition to you learning how to build wealth in this market by getting that book.
Hey, nice. Made me almost go online, go get one. What we got, Barbara? This is series on trends, right? So we still
Yes.
talking about the trends.
Yes, this has been lesson
cover.
3, like I said in the manual, series on trends and futures and commodities, lesson 3. So if you got the book, you can even flip to it.
Oh man, we covered uptrend last week, and it looked like we on downtrends now. It was good that everybody understood that quiz because that quiz question was referring to the market changing directions and maybe beginning to get into a downtrend. And said from that quiz that when we see a top formation, that's what we maybe get ready to see the market do, right? So right here, Barbara, read this to me. What does this mean?
So a downtrend is the downward movement of price over a period of time. This indicates increasing selling bearish pressure. This pressure occurs within zones of support and resistance on the chart. Remember, we learned about support and resistance. So this is when you're going in the downward position in the market. So you're also able to make money going up and make money going down. So this would be the bears in the market.
So the market going down, there's some people that are making money when the market going down. That's what you're saying.
Yes, people are making money when the market is going down.
And that's referring to when Johnny and Dr. Mayer talk about the sellers being in control, right?
Yes, the sellers are in control and they are pushing the market down.
So in this particular case, we want to understand that we don't want to look at the market in a bad way or a negative way when it's in a downtrend. That's still an opportunity that we can take advantage of when it's trading down, from a fundamental standpoint. That may mean, that it could be a supply issue. And they may have a whole lot, they may have an abundance of supply, right? And then from another standpoint, it could be from a technical situation where we have a top formation has formed, the market has topped out, and now it's starting to trade down, and we get into what that looks like. So just don't feel that the market has to always trade up. It's all right when it's trading down too. It has to trade for both directions. The bull can't always win. So I actually love trading the market down myself. I find I trade the market down more than I trade it up. So just know that a downtrend is an opportunity we're gonna be taking advantage of when it comes to the system that we trade. All right, what else you got for us, Barbara? Johnny, you want this, man?
Sure. Oh. What does a downtrend make? Okay. That question threw me off for a second. But if an uptrend is making higher highs and higher lows, then the downtrend would do the opposite. It would make lower highs and lower lows. All right. So your resistant zone, which is the higher zone, would be lower and lower and lower. And the support line would also be lower and lower and lower. Now, we talked about this over a period of time. Now, I don't want to confuse people here, but every day the market makes a high and a low. Every hour, there's a high and a low, right? Every minute, there's a high and a low. So every time zone that you're looking at, there's going to be a high and a low. Now the question is whether the market is making higher highs or lower highs, lower lows, okay, or higher lows. And this is done every day, every period of every market. Okay, next. So before we go, the resistant line on a change of direction to go in the downtrend, will be the one, will be the high, will be the one, and the 3 will be the one, and the support on the downside will be the 2, which is opposite of a 1, 2, 3 bottom. Okay, so let's go to the next slide. Lower lows. This occurs when the current price of the chart is lower than that of the previous low on the chart. This creates a downward momentum in price. The lower low occurs on the bottom side of the trend line. Okay. Next slide. And opposite of the uptrend, the downtrend makes a lower high. So this occurs when the current high price on the chart is lower than that of the previous high on the chart. This creates a downward momentum in price. Lower highs occur at the top side of the trend line. Next slide. So the number one, when a downtrend begins, the number one is the highest price on the chart. No matter what chart you're looking at, whether it's a 1 month, 6 month, 1 year, or whatever. The number one is the highest on the chart. All right. Next slide. The number two is when, represents the zone of support. Okay, and this number is vital to your trading entry. So whenever the the market starts going down, okay, and changes direction going back up, all right, that forms the number 2. This is the low end or the support end on that particular movement. The number 2 is always lower than the number 1 and the number 3. Okay, next. So the number 3 is formed when it changes direction from the number 2 and heads back towards the number 1, right? And this number is vital to your risk, your risk or the exit. This can be there can be multiple 3s on the chart. And this is your lower high. So when the number 3 is formed, it's when from the number 2, it changes direction and heads back to the number 1, but fails to make a new number 1. It fails to go higher than the previous number 1, indicating it's a lower high, right? And this always is higher than the number 2, but lower than the number 1. Okay. So let's take a look at this chart. So the number 1 is the highest mark on the chart. It went down as low as it was going to go, which hit support and changed directions and went back towards the number 1. It turned again and went back towards the number 2, but that high, or when it hit resistance, that high was lower than the previous number 1, indicating a 1, 2, 3 top head had formed. It went back down to support, which was lower than the previous number 2. Changed directions again, and so on and so forth down the chart. Now I just want to say something here. It's always easy to see this after the fact. In other words, if we had a crystal ball, we could go back in time, we could trade this chart and make money easy. But we have no clue where it's going to go. So when you know, we watched the video from O.J. O'Brien, they don't show it. They reveal it after we see it. But you can see the number 1, 2, 3. Now, if you're drawing your trend line and you see it's an obvious trend beginning, then you can trade this trend line down until it makes a new 1, 2, 3 bottom. All right. So, next slide.
Next is, do you want to go to bar chart? Get some,
Go back for a second.
go back. Okay. Hold on just a moment.
So if y'all have questions, get the questions ready. All right, any questions?
Yeah, I have a question.
Shoot.
Like that. So with looking at this chart right here, what I'm picking up is following this downtrend, what I think I would like to know is that what point would be a good entry point while watching this? Because I understand what we're looking for as far as the lower lows and the lower highs, but what would be the entry point at the top here, or like where would you guys see a great entry point to get in this trade as the recognizing that is going?
But you draw that straight line. Mines are always crooked.
It's hard to do.
This is something we're going to cover again over and over. But we have a standing rule that in order for this 1, 2, 3 top to confirm, it has to go and break the number 2 that was formed, right? Where she has, so you would place your order just below the number 2. All right. And that way when it confirms, specifically on this chart, which is a really good chart to look at, because you placed your order at the number 2. And we said in the number 3 is important because the number 3 is where you would place your stop loss. All right. So the number 3 the number 2 confirmed, you got in the trade, and then you would trade it down. So or let's say you didn't get in there, right? And it broke, right? Let's say you didn't get in at the number 2. So the next number 2, you would do that same line. Okay. So whenever it broke from the number 3 and came back down and exceeded the number 2, then you would be back in the trade with your stop loss being at the second 3. If that represents 10% or less of the value of your account. Okay. And in this case, you would have made quite a bit of money because it continued to drop a ways down before you would have to exit this trade.
Okay, great. So what I'm picking up is like we need to like our entry points will be at the 2.
Correct.
And in each, okay, that makes
Or
sense.
just below the number 2.
Or just below the number 2. Gotcha. Okay.
Matter of fact, Robert, can you go back a slide?
Yes.
Okay. Right here. Do you see Rashid, do you see when Johnny was covering this slide where it mentioned that the number 2 will represent your entry into the trade?
Yeah, I saw that, but this is what, like when we actually look at the chart, that's why I can
Mm-hmm.
get a better understanding, like right,
Yeah.
like exactly of where that number two is placed at, because it looked like, and from that chart, it was going down already. So like looking at where the two is, and then understanding that you need to get your entry point in the two, I was looking at it from a point of saying like, all right, where would I get in at? Like which number two, right? Like just in case you miss it, because sometimes you miss it, right? So I just wanted to know, like at that particular point. So I get it, but looking at the chart, it just makes a lot of sense looking at the chart whenever it's said. That's
Yeah,
all.
let's
I just wanted to
go
be
back to
clear.
that chart real quick.
Most definitely, bro. It definitely make no sense looking at the chart.
All right, so let me qualify something here. Because when I said get in the trade, let's make sure we understand what that means. When it went below the number two, the first one, I would sell a contract. That's how I'm getting in the trade here. I'm not buying a contract. I'm selling a contract. Why am I selling a contract?
Because it's on a downtrend. And that's
Is
how
it
you
Yes,
because it's going
ma'am.
down? Oh, okay, my bad. Sorry.
Yes, absolutely. Because we're playing the market down now. So on this, on a downtrend, when it hits the number two, I'm going to sell a contract. One I don't own. Okay.
How can you do that, Johnny?
Hold on. Yeah, I was going to ask. Nah,
That's
because
what
I'm trying to get it, yo. I was
No,
about to
no,
ask
no,
the
no, no.
exact same question. You know what I'm saying?
No,
Like
this is
we
what we're trying
when
to understand. I am agreeing, entering into an agreement with a buyer that I agree to sell him or deliver to him a certain amount of a commodity at a given date. So I'm selling him the commodity or the contract. He's buying the contract. He's agreeing to buy from me at that price a given amount of a commodity to be delivered at a certain date. I don't own it yet, but I'm agreeing to sell it to him. We cover this every training.
Yes, and don't feel no way if you don't get it, because we always have to focus and have a whole call that's just focused on this alone, because it takes that much attention to make sure we get it in how the concept of how that makes sense in our head. But if you heard what Johnny just said, he said that in order for him to get into the trade, he has to sell first. He has to sell a contract. Make sure everybody understand that. If we want to trade the market to the upside, we want to go long the market, he will have to do what?
Bye.
Bye.
you have
Buy
to
a
buy the
contract.
contract.
Buy
Gotcha.
low, buy low, sell high, right?
Right.
And this
Yes.
and this concept is sell high, buy low. Just the opposite.
Okay,
Like I
so
said, we're
one
gonna get into that more and more. Don't get overwhelmed. Go ahead, Johnny.
all right, so the important part is if I'm going to sell a contract at 2, what am I doing with the contract at 3 for my stop loss?
Exit, getting out,
Get
perhaps?
out. Yeah.
What?
You're getting out of the
Exiting.
trade at that point?
Yes, ma'am. But what am I? If I place an order to sell at 2,
You'll have to buy to get out.
There you
there
go,
you
man.
go. Bam. My stop loss will be a buy order to get out.
Man, I'm confused.
How did you get in, Jamal? You did what first?
You bought low, and then when it went up to 3, that was your gains, and you came out.
Is that what Johnny said? Did he say when it went below the number 2 that he was gonna buy? Is that what he said?
Yeah, because you buying low.
You sure that's what Johnny said?
When you go below the, yeah, because you buying low. That's the entry point.
No, you're selling low. When you're the lower low, you're selling at that point when they come in at 2.
Very good. Very good. In order to trade the market down, Jamal, in order to do what's called shorten the market, you have to sell a contract first.
Right.
So we're not buying first. If you buy first, you're going long the market. You understand?
Kinda. All right.
Is it-
So where's the previous contract that you selling? Because I
That's what
remember,
I mean.
I remember Mr. Scott saying you selling a contract that you don't have.
Yeah, that's why I told y'all it's gonna probably take us a whole call to make sure everybody understand it.
Yeah.
Hey, Jamal,
Yes, sir.
you wanna buy some corn?
Yes.
Well, I'm gonna sell you some. And I agreed to give it to you at the end of the month. I don't own it yet. But I'm going to enter into an agreement. And you said you're going to buy it at a certain price. Okay?
Okay.
And before the end of and you're going to agree to buy it.
Okay.
Now, I ain't got it, you ain't got it yet. We just have an agreement. By the end of the month, I'm hoping the price goes down so I can buy another contract to give to you at a cheaper price.
Okay.
You got it?
I hear you, but
Now-
I don't have it. I'm not gonna tell you that I do when I don't.
Yeah.
That's okay, Jamal, because that's not even what we should be focusing on at the moment. Anyway, so it's okay. You got time to get it. What we should be focusing on is understanding what Johnny covered, and that's how a downtrend is formed. Understanding the fact that the resistance and the support level is basically what those 1, 2, and 3s are, and that the number 2 is the number we use for our entry. The number 3 is the number we use for our exit. So don't jump ahead of yourself. Understand this first. How to get into the trade. We're gonna cover all that. Get this part first. You need to understand what it means going short the market first, and then you should be able to understand when Johnny tells you that you have to sell a contract first. So
Delvin,
this is something that you
can
gotta
I add something?
always.
So in this scenario of a downtrend, it means you're always going in the direction of your profit. That means the market is doing this. And you get in at the number 2 because you're following the direction of the profit. But in the event that the market decides to do what? Turn around and go in the opposite direction that you entered the market, that's when you would get out. So you're saying this number 3 represents, I'm not willing to risk no more than 10% of my account, because the market, though it's going down, it could have reversed on you and went in the opposite direction.
Yeah.
That's what this means. But we haven't got to that part yet. So you have to imagine every trade that you enter, you want to go in the direction of your profit. If you're going, take this number one down here, you see what direction it's going, and it's going up. So you would enter here because you want to follow the profit. But in the event it decides to turn around on you, it's gonna what? Cause a loss. So you have to determine, I'm only willing to risk a certain amount if I incur a loss. That's what the number 3 represents. So that's why Mr. Johnny said it was going down. If you miss it, and say, for instance, you miss this number till you get in here, you're still doing what? You're following the direction of the trend of the market. So just long as you're headed in this down direction, you're always in profit because that's the direction of the market. But you have to keep in mind that you are a seller in the market at the time. You're not a buyer, you're a seller. But you have both in the market, which causes the momentum, the support, and the resistance. So if it decides to turn around, who's now in control? The buyers. It's turned direction on you. So you have to secure your profit and say, I'm only going to risk a certain amount. So that's why you have buyers and sellers. It takes a buyer and a seller to make the market work. It can't work just with one group alone. So when you enter the market as a seller, you're in as a seller, but you one day in the future want to get out of this contract. So you got to sell it to get out because you got to buy it to get out because you sold to get in. You got to turn around and say, well, I want to get out. I got to buy to get out. So if you enter here as a buyer, you enter as a buyer, but you got to sell it to get out. So you have to do the opposite to get out of the contract because you have buyers and sellers in the market together. Does that make sense?
Man, it's crazy. I'm still confused, but I'm listening. I'm listening. I get it.
It'll get better as time go on.
Yeah.
So you will learn. So
I understood you to a point, and then it got confusing. So I'm still listening.
So the market moves in directions. So this is a downtrend. The market is going down. Just long as price is moving, you can make money in either direction. It doesn't matter. So you can say, I'm a sell a contract and get in under the number 2. Price is going down. You're making money just long as you're in the market as a seller because you're following the direction of the market. If you was a buyer, you wouldn't be because you would be trading against the market. You have to trade in the same direction that the market is going in. That's how you make a profit.
Yeah,
That's why we're teaching you the trends. Last week it was the uptrend. So just long as a buyer and the market is going up, you're following price. You're doing what? You're making money. But if you were a seller down here and the market is going up, you're losing money because it's not going in your direction.
Okay.
So the market has to go in your direction in order for you to make money in that trend. That's why you never trade against the trend. If in this market, you would need to sell. If you're a buyer, you're going to lose because it's going in a downtrend. And right here in this trend, if you're a buyer, you're going to make money. You would lose if you was in as a seller because it's going in the upward direction. You have to follow the trend. That's why Mr. John is big about telling you don't trade against the trend. The trend is your friend, which is one of our rules. But the numbers and the exit and all of that, you're going to learn that when we get into the formations. But in order for you to understand the formations, you have to understand the difference between the two trends. Does that make sense?
Yes, that makes sense.
Okay.
Awesome. All right, Bob, I wanted to go to bar chart before we jump out real quick.
Okay.
Do you know of any any downtrends right now.
Bitcoin,
Yes. Bitcoin? Okay. Okay, we'll go to Bitcoin.
Cattle.
has cattle changed direction?
I was trying to make a top, Johnny. I can't remember. Let's look at cattle real quick for a second. If we don't, let me just see if my mind is off a little bit. I thought cattle was trying to make a top. Okay, so where was that? Okay, there you go. Thank you. I hope everybody able to see this chart, and we should see the quiz question that we just had should be coming to your mind right now. We talked about when the market was in the uptrend and started to make a top. Once it made a top formation, it could be indicating that the market's going to change direction. In this particular case, we could see that the market was in an uptrend, and it could be at some point starting to make a top. So the number one we talked about a minute ago is the highest price on the chart, right? And
That's
then
the current, is that the current? That's the current price, right? The hot number one. Yeah, okay.
you said the current price? No,
Uh, That's what I'm asking.
the highest price.
Okay, understood.
Yeah. If you all, anytime you see a chart like this and you want to know what the current price at, you look to the right. You see that bold price that's in bold?
To
Can you see that
The
right there?
223.675.
That's the current price.
Okay,
Okay.
And if you don't see that, you can look to the upper left corner. It's gonna be showing you the current price up there where it says live cattle. Both of them gonna be telling you what the current price is. In this case, Barbara, can you just not can we only have one, 2, and 3 on the chart? I want to teach this from a beginner standpoint where we don't have multiple 2s on the chart, multiple 3s on the chart. When somebody looking at the chart from a standpoint of a beginner looking at a chart, the less on the chart, the better. Um, so can everybody understand that this market made a bottom formation and then went into an uptrend? Is there anybody not clear on that first? This market
we
made
can
a
see
bottom,
that. Yeah,
Yeah,
we can
I
see.
see.
and then after we made a bottom, we went into an uptrend. Everybody see that,
Mm-hmm.
and you can see Barbara already has the 1, 2, and 3 marked off on the chart. Everybody see it, right?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Okay. Now, Rasheed had a question about whether or not what way you enter the market. So hopefully this will make sense from a bottom formation standpoint, and then maybe you can understand it from a top formation. Johnny showed you the entry will always be using our number 2. Right? And Johnny also mentioned that it has to confirm. What does that mean? So we have a 1, 2, and a 3 on the chart. For that 1, 2, 3 is confirmed, the market has to test the number 2 and trade through the number 2 to confirm that it is indeed a 1, 2, 3 bottom formation. Can you see where it traded through the number 2? If you were looking to get in this market, you would want to get in just above the number 2, because you want the market to confirm first before you get in. So we have a 1, 2, 3 bottom. It's confirmed when the market tests the number 2 and breaks through it and trades through the number 2. We will have our order placed to get in just above the number 2. We use the number 2 as our entry. What did Johnny say we used the number 3 for? Anybody remember?
The
To
exit.
exit.
Stop loss to get out.
Our stop loss, that's our exit. Number 3 is always for our exit. Right, so to get out. So we will have our order below the number 3. If the market traded below the number 3, we want to get out. That's our exit. All right, now on this particular case, in order for us to get in above the number 2, what kind of order do we need to place to get into the trade?
That's a buy order.
Buy order.
We need to buy.
There you
Buy
go.
order.
A buy order. That's right. We have to buy first in order to trade the market up. And then what kind of order will we have below the number 3 to get us out of the trade?
Sell order.
A sell order.
Oh,
Your stop loss would be a sell order.
not long. Not long.
So our entry will be a buy, and our exit will be a sell.
So sell
Of
order and
course, we
stop.
want to sell it. We want to say it again.
So a sell order and stop loss is synonymous. It means the same thing.
No, it's giving you the explanation of what your stop loss order really is. When you put in the stop loss order, it's really gonna be you placing a sell order. That's what it's gonna be.
That's what I'm saying. It means the same thing, right? Sell order and the stop loss. It sounds like it's meaning the same thing.
Depending on
In this
the
in
direction
this
of the
formation,
market.
that's right. It means the same thing in this particular situation. Just know if you buy to get in, how you gonna get out?
You must
You
sell.
gotta sell.
That's right. That's why we try to explain the opposite is to sell to get in, then to buy to get out. That's the opposite. But in this particular case, you bought a contract. To get out of the contract, you got to sell it. Of course, your goal is for you to sell it higher than where you got in. But if the market's going against you, like Barbara explained, and you want to get out of it, your sell order will be getting you out below the number 3. But
So
hopefully
all right.
the market don't go below your number, doesn't go below the number 3, and you don't get stopped out down there. It goes up, and then you start to make money. Does that make sense, Jamal?
I'm still a little confused because it's sounding like the stop loss and the sell order is two different buttons, but it sounds like it's the same thing too at the same time. You gotta sell. So if you selling, is that the stop loss too?
Yes.
That's why I was saying it's synonymous. It means the same thing. So that's why I was asking you, like, if I had to do this, if I had to go in and enter the number 2, I put my stop loss where the number 3 is. Is that correct? The stop loss sell order at number 3. Is that correct?
Yeah. It's
Okay, all
correct.
right.
The reason I don't want to call it synonymous because if I was talking about a top formation, that would be incorrect. What you're saying, it's only
Okay.
synonymous in this bottom formation. That's
Yeah,
why I
that's what I'm
don't want to
saying.
use
Only in
that
the bottom.
terminology.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. That's what I'm saying. Only for this. If only for this order right here. If it was going in a downtrend, it would be I got it. I got that part. Just I got that part. All right.
yeah. Me mentioning sell order was explaining what your stop loss really is.
Yes,
So
sir.
we keep hearing stop loss. Make sure you have a stop loss. We always trade with a stop loss.
Yeah.
And if you want to know what a stop loss really is, I'm explaining, giving you the definition. A stop loss is really going to just be a buy or a sell order, just depending on which way you're trading the market. But that's giving you an explanation. What is the stop loss? That's exactly what it is.
Okay.
If that's just me trying to help you understand what the stop loss was.
Okay. Thank you.
Catch. Right. So now also understand this. The market traded all the way up to a point where it hit resistance. And then it started to trade back down. And that's how we have this number one, which is the highest price on the chart. But in this bottom formation, our number one is the lowest price on the chart. But if you look all the way up to the right, you'll see where the market hit resistance and then traded down. And this left our highest price on the chart, which we said is our number one. Now, if you look at that, you will see that the market traded down from that price. That's why I said we want to see the market start making a top formation, start trying to make a top formation, and then we can start to see how we can start looking at how we can get into the market once it starts to establish a downtrend. But here's one in the very beginning stages of where we could be starting to make a top. We don't know yet. But you see, the highest price will be our number one. Do we have a number two yet, Barbara?
It's making a number two now, what appears to be a number two, because it traded down. That's what that means. So we just have to wait until it completes it to really see whether it's a true number two or not.
Yes. And I think looking at it from the bottom, it's going to help them make sense out of it before we look at it from the top. We looked at the uptrend, but we didn't go into looking at a 1, 2, 3 bottom. And I think when Rasheed asked the question about where would you enter the market, I think we should look at it from the bottom first. Like this 1, 2, 3 bottom. Where will you enter the market? Is Rasheed still on the call?
Yeah, I'm here.
Rasheed, in this particular matter right here, you understand where your entry would be?
Yeah,
Okay.
definitely. With a two, yeah, I understand where it would be. Right below
Yeah.
it. Right below it, right.
You said below it?
Right below it. Like the two right there. Oh, above
No.
it. Sorry, above it.
Yeah.
Because we buying it because the trend is going up, so we are buying it, so above it. Below
Yeah.
it when we selling it. Okay.
There you go.
So I have a question real quick before you move. Barbara said something about whether it was a true number two or not. What do you mean?
What I mean by that is in bar chart, it gives you these half moons.
Okay,
Those are your number ones.
okay.
But if you notice, it's not really finished with its movement up top. It could just be a continuation of this uptrend.
Okay.
But that's why we wait for the formations to see really what it is to
Okay.
determine that this is a true number two and that it's gonna, that it really has changed directions, that it's going back down instead of continuing to go back up.
Okay. Wait till it completes.
Right. That's why you have to wait till it completes it to see if it's really a true number two or not. That's what Delvin was saying.
Okay, thank you.
Anybody got any more questions about this? No more questions in the chat neither, right, Barbara?
Let me
We
see.
got all the questions answered.
How do you know if it's a true number two? That's what Zuli put. I'm asking about the recent number one and airing for the number two. Oh, then she put, I understood. Okay, let's make sure.
Dooley, you're not clear about something? What you got a question about, Dooley?
No, it was clear. Thank you so much before Ms. Brooks asked it. So I'm okay now. I just was lost.
Okay. Adrian Holmes said is this correct? If you sell a contract at 87 and it goes down like you intend and you buy at 82, you just made a $5 profit.
Correct. It ain't $5, but it's $5 based on what the point value is. It'd be way more than $5 though, Adrian.
Yeah, every market has a different point value. So you would take the difference between the 87 and the 82, and you have to multiply that times the point value, whatever that point value is for that particular market. That's how you know your profit.
Yeah. So in this case, if which market are we looking at? Live cattle?
Yes.
All right, so perfect example from 87 and it went down to 86. That'll be a $400 profit just from 87 to 86, Adrian. And then down to 85 will be another 400. 84, 400, down to 82. So you will be talking about $2,000 from 87 to 82. You understand that? Right. Yeah, so when we explain when we say $5, it really don't mean $5 when we trade futures, right?
It's a good thing it doesn't.
Yeah, yeah, because it's all based on the points and the ticks. But man,
Could you
huh?
would asking to explain the point value be jumping the gun, or should I just, because that's something you're gonna hit eventually, or what?
It's gonna be a call on that, but
Okay, all right.
I'll just go to this. So the point value for live cattle is $400. So that's a really good point value. But when it's going in your favor, it's really good. But when it's not, that's a loss for you. So every point, it moves is $400. So that was, 5 points that the difference that she gave us. So that's 5 times $400. That's $2,000. So if it went in your favor, that will be a $2,000 profit. But if it went against you, it will be a $2,000 loss, which is why you have that risk exit at the number 3 to determine, well, I'm only going to lose so much on this trade. That's the purpose
So
of getting out at the number 3.
okay, so all right, so where it was thought to say $5, it's actually 5 points.
Right, it's a 5-point difference between 87 and 82.
Okay, so it's called points instead of dollars, because when you see dollar signs, when I
Right,
see
not dollars, it's points. It's
right,
points
that's it.
in the
Yeah, that's what
market.
I. Okay, I
But
got it.
there's gonna be a call for that because in order for
Okay,
you to exercise proper risk management, you have to know what all those definitions mean. So we're not there yet, but
right.
just
That's
to
why I want to jump.
simplify
Yeah,
your
that's why I asked.
question and to make it make sense for you to
Mhm.
determine how do you get your profit. It's gonna be a call for you to know how to get your profit, how to get your risk, how to manage your account. We're gonna
Yeah.
have a whole call on that. But just
Okay.
to answer her question, so she wouldn't be thinking it was dollars when it's not,
Right.
it's points.
Yeah. Because I probably would have thought it was.
Yes, we're dealing with points and ticks, but we're gonna get to that.
Yeah, and just know if you have to know the point value in order to understand the money.
Yeah.
And and if you don't know the point value for no matter whatever commodity it is, where would you go? Where did Barbara go to get the point value? How did she find that?
Are the contract specs?
That's right.
Mm-hmm.
And you got to know the point value in order to trade it.
Okay. Okay.
It'd just be a bunch of numbers to you if you don't understand what the point value is. So it moved 10 points. Okay, what does that mean?
10 points.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
My
10.
point is, if you don't know the point value, it moved 10 points don't mean nothing to you. See what I'm saying?
Right. Yeah, so it's 10. It's 10 times 400.
Right, 4,000. So that could
Right.
be for you, or you know, it could be in the opposite
It's-
direction. But that's $4,000.
That's dangerous, boy. That's dangerous. Mm-hmm.
That's
Yeah. So when you
that's
see
why we use a stop loss.
Yeah, I
when you see
got
the
it.
ticker on TV, and you see the ticker, and you see all these prices and all these points, it don't mean nothing to you if you don't know what the point value is. See what I'm saying?
Yeah, right. I got it. Yeah,
Yeah.
That's
I
why we
got it.
always trade in the direction that the market is going. This is one of the
Yeah,
reasons why.
Yeah. Cause
yeah.
just think about it, man. If I would have said to you, I would trade live cattle, man. And shoot, man, I had 10-cent profit, 10 point profit today. What would that? If you don't know what 10 points equal, you don't know what I'm talking about.
Yeah. But if you know the point value, you know that it was 4 Gs. Yeah, I
Exactly.
got it. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
All right. Well, we jump off. Any more questions or comments? And is everybody in our Telegram group?
Yes, sir.
Is there anybody not? I want to invite you into our Telegram group where we have quizzes and stay connected to anything we have going on. If you're not in that group, you're welcome to come join our Telegram group. We had some excellent questions and comments tonight. We love it when y'all have questions and comments because I don't like for you to come on here and then leave without getting clarity about what we talked about. I like for you to leave and have a clear understanding because you know I'm going to quiz you. So make sure you understand because you know the quiz is just coming. All right. So great call, everybody. Appreciate all y'all jumping on and then participating in everything. We appreciate it. And then I guess we will end it right there. And y'all have a great week and good